Hey Barbies and Kens! Today for you, I'm going to be doing something that I kind of just like randomly thought over, and I was like, wow, this would be like a really good idea for a video and something to talk about, and that is the 5 people you'll meet in high school. I have 5 written down that I definitely want to touch on and talk about, and these experiences pretty much happened to me in high school. I'm not using names or anything, but these 5 people I've met in high school, and some were for the worst and then some were for the better, and I just didn't realize that at the time. So let's start with number 1. One of the first people I met in high school was the attention whore. If any of you guys know who that person is, who was in your high school, they are just loud and obnoxious and they want all eyes on them 24/7, and you're kind of just that person that stands with them off to the side. Like Mean Girls, I could be probably like, what was her name, Bridget? Or the one that like protects the weather with her boobs. Like, that was me. I kind of was just off to the side with her, and I think if I did meet other people that I thought were like worthy of my time to talk to, I don't want to make it sound like that in a bad way, but like good, genuine people, I probably wouldn't have talked to her. But because I had her there for support and just kind of like to be with and not be alone by myself, I kind of stuck around, which sounds awful, but like in high school, if you have nobody, it's not a nice feeling. So I kind of hung out with the attention whore. Was she awful? To other people. I mean, we'd get in fights sometimes where she'd just like hate me and not talk to me for no reason. That was kind of shitty, but for the most part, I made it through, so kudos to me. Number 2 is the stuck-up snobs, and they were people in my class that just did not want to get to know me, wanted nothing to do with me, because at the time I was emo, I was depressed, I was going through death after death. It was awful, and that was my way of expressing how much pain I was in. And I don't know, they just wouldn't look my way. They hated me, they picked me apart. They didn't necessarily come at me to my face, but you could tell they were talking about me. And it's funny because in the beginning I was in at first when they didn't know I was, because I went to a Catholic school, and once they seen I was out like that, and it sucks. There was like certain things and ways and you had to be with them, and to this day I kind of just, it's not that I hold a grudge, but some of them have reached out to me and I haven't reached back, just because, you know, I didn't get a full-on apology, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for, but it's just more or less that like it's in the back of my head, and I don't know if they have changed. I mean, it's been almost 2 years since we've been out, but I have a feeling they haven't, just from things I heard, and I know you can't listen to things you heard, but I doubt it. If you would see how these people were, you'd be like, no, they're the same people they were on day 1. The next one is the gossip. Number 3. The gossip and me we were friends, pretty good friends, and her gossiping is pretty much the reason why me and the attention whore would fight, and pretty much we just did not become friends very well after that. We had a big blowout where we were like, no, I hate you, and there was just stuff in between too that happened, and I was trying to be there for her, and she wouldn't let me be there for her, but she'd gossip and complain about it, and that's kind of when I was just like, I'm done, I don't want anything to do with you. And a lot of people followed in my direction in kind of like my little friend group, and they were like, no, like, you're drama. And all she would do is just gossip about everybody, and I think a lot of the time she would come and tell me something, and then I'd give her my feedback, and then she'd go to the attention whore and tell her what I said and switch words up and stuff, and then she'd go to the 4th person that we're going to talk about, and that person was just kind of like, wow, like, did not want to deal with it, just kind of wanted to live in their own world and aspect, And that's what brings us to number 4, the pothead. And also, when I say the pothead, I do not mean that in any, like, if you smoke pot, awesome. Like, if you smoke weed, that's sweet. I'm not giving them any kind of, like, bad rep or saying anything, because I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, I was friends with that person, but, that's just a funny name I thought to give them. But number 4 is the pothead, and she and me lost contact, unfortunately. But she was like the last person out of my friends group that I talked to the longest, and which was kind of cool. Like, I talked to her the longest, even out of high school, and I loved her to death. I don't really know where our fallout was, but she was awesome. Like, she was just kind of like, all right, man, do what you want to do, or she was just very outgoing and just like calm and relaxed, and I loved her to death. I really can't say anything bad about her. I leaned on her a lot for different things, and she's a good friend. And the final people are number 5, the good kids, which I kind of didn't fit in with at all. I mean, the one girl I talked to, but the minute you would say or do something that she didn't like or she didn't think was proper, she wouldn't talk to you, which was fine by me because I didn't really care for her to begin with. But a lot of the good kids, they were just, now I don't mean like they were on the sports team, or they were just kind of there, like they weren't nerds, but they were just kind of there, chilling, hanging out, and I mean some of them might have been, but I don't know, I really tried, and too, like when I first got there, I tried to be friends with them, and you know, it didn't really work out too well, and then they started kind of being like a little bit backstabbing and a little bit just, yeah. And that's when I kind of realized I didn't fit in anywhere, until I kind of just made my little mold, and I bounced around those 5 people to survive high school, until, as you know, senior year, my whole blowout. But junior year was really nice, actually. I didn't bring up anything about junior year in there. That's pretty much my freshman and sophomore year, and some of junior. But my other half of junior was spending it with my ex-boyfriend and some of his friends, but once that was over, if you, in any case, know how that goes, a lot of the times you don't talk to their friends anymore. Like, you were just kind of like in there because of that one person, and once you're gone, you were out. So that kind of really sucked, but I think like it definitely helped me grow as a person. Like in high school, I looked like a totally different person, totally different. I mean, I had my black hair, but I don't know. I think a lot of the times I would get really sad, and I wouldn't want to put in the effort to get dressed or look nice, or so it was like, I don't know, it was really confusing for me because I did bounce around these 5 people, and one person's showing me to be one way, another person's showing me to be another way, and another person's showing me to be this way, and it was just really hard to figure out who I was supposed to be and where I was supposed to be going and everything in that kind of order. But I mean, I look back now and I probably wouldn't change any of it for anything, just because it was an experience I had and definitely learned from it. So if you guys have any good like high school experiences or anything you want to talk about, leave it in the comments below. Maybe we can get a discussion going. And if you liked my video, please thumbs it up, subscribe to my channel, and become a Barbie or a Ken. I really hope you liked this video. It actually made me really think about high school. I haven't thought about high school in forever, at least not at that aspect of it. I've been more thinking about like the work aspect with applying and everything to college, but kind of a little flashback. So alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.